like to call the regularly scheduled meeting back to session at 7 p.m. We're still waiting on Ms. Snipes to come back, and we are short one board member. Mr. Scully's not here today, and Ms. Blackburn-Hines is with us virtually. Jumping right into it, we've got for number 6, the invocation, and 7 right after that, Pledge of Allegiance with Ms. Huddle.
Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, thank you for all the blessings you give us. While our lives can be full of joy, there can also be difficult times for us, our family, and loved ones. We need your help to heal those among us who are hurting, whether it is physical or emotional or both. Please give us peace, relief, hope, and healing. Please also help us to remember that we are not that different from each other. In the big things in life, we want and need the same things: our health, to be surrounded by love, and to find our place in the world. Please be with us tonight as we make decisions for our students, parents, staff, and community. May your will be done. Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Huddle. And we'll give Ms. Snipes a second to get in and get situated. We'll jump straight to the school board spotlight, number 8. I'll turn it over to Dr. Ross.
All right, this time, Ms. Taylor.
Okay, thank you, Vice Chair Hogan, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Ross, good evening. I have a special celebration to share with you tonight. Avery Smith is a rising Spring Hill High School senior. She has been elected as the National Region 2 Vice President for the Skills USA organization, making her the first ever national officer from the state of South Carolina. She participates in the Law Enforcement Services program at our center. The process to become a national officer is not an easy one. It is challenging and takes commitment from the candidate, her family, and her sponsor at school. Avery has had to complete multiple certifications over the past 2 years, attend multiple conferences, hold a state officer position, and complete other tasks to finish this application process. Then she had to successfully pass a written test, an interview process, and submit a recorded speech to be put on the ballot. And then when they got to Atlanta for the national conference, she had to campaign among her peers. She had to give a memorized campaign speech in front of all the folks at the conference. And then she had to answer a difficult, problematic question in front of everybody on the spot. So this is a smart cookie, Avery is. And then obviously she was elected by her peers, and so we're so excited for her. She's a 2-time state officer as well, a 2-time state champion in the Skills USA program, and a national competitor. And so she has won the Skills USA National Statesman Award, and you may have seen last week she was featured on the WIS Primetime program for this accomplishment. And in her spare time, she sits on the Superintendent Student Advisory Committee as well. So we are so proud of Avery. We are proud of Mr. Chapman at the center, his leadership, all the students that participate in Skills USA. They are a great group of students, and so very glad to celebrate them tonight and share about this accomplishment. And then also tonight, I am happy to welcome 2 of our principals here to share with you tonight. We have Principal Matt Gams from River Springs Elementary and Principal Christian English from Seven Oaks Elementary to reveal their new school logos for you for this year. We'll start with Mr. Gams.
Thank you, Mrs. Taylor. Good evening, Mr. Vice Chair, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Ross. It's a pleasure to be here this evening with you for the new River Springs logo reveal this evening. If we can go ahead and advance the slide to the next one, that'd be great. Or do I do that? Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to start off with a little history lesson about River Springs. As you can see here, the picture represented is a dedication picture on the dedication booklet for when River Springs opened in 1998. You can see that the navigator is represented along with the wheel for the ship. That's always been part of River Springs history. We opened our doors in January 1998. We currently have one original staff member on staff at this time. She is our music teacher, Mrs. Ingram, but she is still there and she's still working really hard. Our original slogan was joining together to build the future. We shifted it to working together to build the future down the road. I wasn't there at that time. And then we originally opened, prior to opening, our K through students were housed at Dutch Fork Elementary, and our 3 through 5 students were housed at Irma Elementary. And then students came to River Springs in January as we opened the doors. Our original logo is on the next slide there. Thank you. I'm going to do that now. All right, so here is our original logo that we opened up with at River Springs. And somewhere down the road, it changed to representing Navigator there, our current mascot. And of course, the ship's wheel is still part of our history and our culture. So when I began this process, I started thinking about who can I involve to get feedback. I included our SIC, our PTO, and our teacher leadership team. Of course, our teacher leaders would go back and share this information with their teams, and they would provide that feedback to me. The feedback that I gathered is some of the following. We want the logo to be kid-friendly, fun, joyful, modern, keeping up with our history, not too cartoonish, I guess representing our current logo, and then love having the alligator and navigator as part of our logo. So, another piece of information that happened once I gathered this feedback is we have an outstanding artist that was part of our staff at the time. She just recently retired this past spring, Mrs. Nancy Davis, who has 20 years of experience. She has 2 years as the expectations coach, and then she transitioned into a second grade teacher and also a team leader. And I'm happy to announce that Nancy Davis is here with us tonight for the great logo reveal. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the new logo for River Springs Elementary School. I believe this logo matches kid-friendly, fun, joyful, modern, keeping up with our history, and of course, it has Navigator in there as well, along with our ship's wheel, to give us a new modern look at River Springs. I want to thank you very much for your time this evening, and if you have any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Mr. Gamps. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Ross. I'm excited to talk to you about the Global Magnet. As y'all know from last year through Project Aspire, we were awarded a grant through the MSAP program to significantly revise our magnet program. Our former logo was closely tied in to the media magnet theme. And now that we've transitioned to global, we needed to significantly revise the logo and the branding package. So we began the process by talking to 2 local marketing and branding firms, and went with R. Hoyam Marketing out of Chapin. And with their guidance, we pulled together as many stakeholder groups as we could. Similar to the River Springs process, we pulled in parents, community members, faculty, staff, and our various leadership teams. The initial meetings all covered the focus of trying to get to the essence of Seven Oaks. We're coming up on 60 years, so there's a lot of history, and trying to figure out what were those core elements of Seven Oaks. Once we gathered that, the marketing company took back that feedback and came back with a few options. We eventually got down to 3 final options, and then we held those on a vote. Not on a boat, for a vote. What we came through with was people love the diversity of Seven Oaks. They loved love. They felt that it was a very loving community. As y'all know, we have a lot of transition. We have a transient population, and they just love the welcoming spirit of Seven Oaks. They wanted a professional look, which is something I'll kind of a little funny in a minute. And then there was an extremely strong community within the school and that bond. So the company got that, came up with 2 initial designs and brought back to the teams, and everybody looked and said, that's too professional. And we're like, wait a minute, we just told you. And so then they were a great partner and went back and came up with another option and retooled the other two. And so then when they were presented for vote, 97% of the first place votes, and the other 3% were second place votes, came up with this, Seven Oaks Elementary Global Magnet. So what I love and what the team loved and everybody really appreciated about this is, one, it starts with the flags in the tree. Any of y'all who've been to Seven Oaks and have been in our multipurpose room, we have about 40 flags up there right now, and they represent every student, staff member who either themselves, their parents, or their grandparents were born in another country. We have the flag of that country, and we swap them out as we get new families. The tree is something that was brought back. The last logo was, like I said, very media focused, and the community has a deep connection to trees and oaks. Shocking. And so that was brought back. And then the connection between the heart, the roots, the people in the middle of the tree, it deeply connects to not only the Seven Oaks mission and vision, but our district mission of loving and growing students. So that's the logo. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. All right, thank you.